to you, Honourable Premier.
Sanibona. Siyaxolisa ngokuthi lo mhlangano omunye udonsa isikhathi eside. Siyanibingelela nonke. We wish to start by welcoming everyone, especially all the members of the media that are here. We have called this meeting just to give you a short briefing of our yesterday's meeting. Of course, it was a very short meeting that was held by the Executive Council, and the meeting that we've just held now with the leadership of the traditional leaders of KwaZulu-Natal, particularly Izinduna. The Provincial Executive Council has resolved to embark on an intensive community mobilization campaign against crime, following the spate of gruesome incidents of killings, murder, and gender-based violence in our province. The Executive Council will be escalating the anti-crime campaigns operation as announced in our State of the Province address. The approach will start in the hotspots where we know that there has been a very bad incident, but also in all the community areas. The approach will start by mobilizing communities against crime as a first pillar to reverse the crime trends in our province. Government is really concerned about the braveness of criminals who are terrorizing communities in and around our province. We are very saddened as well that our province is having this bad name of being known as a province where there are still terrible killings that are happening, as the one in Marion Hill, KwaMashu, the ones in Mkhanyakude and other areas. The law enforcement agencies will target illegal guns, illegal gun shops, illegal gun licenses. We've also called for a tighter control of legal guns themselves, because we believe that many of the legal guns usually land up in the wrong hands when criminals target those people that are owning legal guns. Crime has taken a shape of extreme brutality, and government really invites all the society, all the community members to stand up against criminals. We have started with our programs of interacting with various community structures with a view of supporting particularly those communities that have organized themselves, those that have trained community safety officers. We are going to be ensuring that we support them with things like proper lighting, jackets for identification, as well as the other training that they might need in order to deal with a crime related in their areas. We are also very concerned about the cross-border crime. We have recently written to the President where we have requested that the President must ensure that the Crime Prevention and Justice Committee of the national government must also come and work with us, because when it comes to the cross-border crime, we need various entities of government. We need Home Affairs, we need the justice system, we need the international relations, police, we need the SANDF ministry, all other ministers that form the part of that cluster, so that together we can map a way forward, because it doesn't help when it's only the police that are involved, because other entities must also equally participate if we are to deal with the cross-border crimes and be able to defeat those syndicates and their handlers, starting with Umkanyagude. We have convened a meeting this coming Sunday in Umkanyagude. The Minister of Police is going to be there. My MEC of Community Safety and Transport will be there. Other community leaders are going to be forming part of that meeting. The police leadership is going to be forming part of that meeting, as well as some community leaders, with the aim really of identifying immediate programs that we need to take, including and not limited to identifying those police that are not helping in the fight against crime, but also identifying those criminals that live amongst the communities. Executive Council will be undertaking Operation Sukuma Sake outreach program in Ugu. The visits form part of the government's ongoing program of assessing the progress on the implementation of government's service delivery programs, resolving community challenges, concerns of water, of crime, of youth unemployment, addressing poverty. These oversight visits will culminate to Imbizo, which will be intended to provide responses to the concerned citizens. Government also uses this visit to engage communities on their daily lived experiences in their areas, so that we are able to get the first-hand information from the communities that are experiencing government services on the daily basis. The provincial executive, also following the State of the Province address, received a report on the processes leading up to the budget day. Our budget day, that is the budget that will be delivered by our MEC of Finance, will be held on the 10th of March in the next coming week, following the tabling of the budget by the National Minister of Finance or Minister of Treasury. In the State of the Province address, we allocated various departments with tasks that they needed to deliver, with priorities that have been outlined in the State of the Province address. We've also expecting that the budget itself will be inviting citizens to also contribute in ensuring that those monies that are appropriated are doing what we said we want to do. But also we invite our citizens to be part of the budget presentations, but also to be able to give us feedback on what it is that is happening and what it is that is not happening. We have just concluded a meeting with the traditional leadership, particularly Izinduna of KwaZulu-Natal. The meetings discussed several matters. Chief amongst others is the update on the resolution of the matter of the payments of Izinduna, the response to the pandemic that is really plaguing our leaders, Izinduna, Amakosi, all other leaders and the community members. It will be recalled that this matter of the back pay of Izinduna has been a matter that has been long outstanding, that we have been on our table for many, many years. The ANC-led government has been seized with this matter, and I do wish to point out that we're very moved by the fact that we've had a number of Izinduna that have passed on in the past few years, who've been with us in this fight of ensuring that eventually as government we do provide the back pay to those qualifying izinduna. We did pay tribute to those in Zinduna and Amakosi who have passed on, but also we committed that those Izinduna that have passed on will still get what is due to them. The Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, together with the Office of the Premiers, is seized with this matter, and several engagements with the national departments are ongoing in order to ensure that we have enough resources to meet this obligation. The province right now, we have, in terms of our head count, we have more than 2,000 Izinduna, which is the majority number in the country. Following many years of hard work to resolve this matter, we were really happy to eventually announce that we are going to be paying the back pay of Izinduna. Today, we are also pleased that we have reached this point where we can say we are finalizing this matter to those that are qualifying, including those that were Izinduna before, but maybe they have resigned, but they qualify because they were in our original database working as Izinduna. The second matter that we discussed is that of the murders of traditional leadership in KwaZulu-Natal, which was raised sharply also by Isilo Samabandla, or King Misizulu KwaZulu-Natal, recently during the opening of the legislature on the 23rd of February. The killing of traditional leaders and Izinduna is not just an attack, but it is a matter that we take serious because it threatens to start to destabilize what is critical institution within our communities and our society. It is also a symptom of the poison that has entered the core of our societal values, where crime has become the order of the day and where matters go unresolved. In a meeting that we held with the South African Police Service Management, it has also emerged that the police are investigating 51 murder cases, dating back to many years. And to date, 30 people have been arrested, while 18 cases are still pending in court. In 2 of these cases, the accused were found guilty and sentenced, and 6, we know that 6 remain undetected out of those people that have been found guilty. Amongst the people, the possible motive behind the killing of traditional leaders is the struggle of disputes that we see in some of the traditional communities. But also matters regarding the land dispute, matters regarding family disputes, and even tax-related disputes in other instances. The province of KwaZulu-Natal takes the safety and security of Amakosi and Izinduna very seriously, and it is in this meeting where we also interacted with the Provincial Commissioner General, Lieutenant General Kwanazi, where we have made it clear that we must really pull all stops, all resources to end murders in KwaZulu-Natal. We've also asked the security cluster to explore feasibility of setting a specialized unit in order for us to work with our traditional leaders. We've had many of them who've also pledged that within their communities, within Izizwe, they have mobilized community safety committees that are now working to really support the work of the police in fighting crime. As announced in our State of the Province address, as the province through the Department of Community Safety and Liaising, we are also establishing the Community Safety Intervention Units, which will focus on many aspects of crimes, including, not limited to, mechanisms that must be put in place to guarantee the safety of our communities. We invite everyone in our society to collectively join the war against crime and contribute in building a province of KwaZulu-Natal that is safe. While we are focused today on traditional leaders, we also are intensifying our efforts against crime amongst our communities as a whole in the rest of our province. We cannot allow crime and criminals and our province to be regarded as a capital of hitmen and hired guns, as it is now the talk that people are saying out there. And it is against this background that we want to use this crisis as a springboard in the intensification of war against crime. Again, we call on our leaders, our traditional leaders, our community leaders, our police, and everybody in the communities as we take these major steps in resolving what is very urgent in all of us, the matters of safety and the matters of ensuring that we rid our communities and ourselves of these criminals and the criminal elements that are found amongst us in the communities. We are seeking to ensure that we build a better KwaZulu-Natal for all our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Honourable Premier. That now concludes our media briefing. We'll then allow the colleagues just to ask a few questions to the media. We'll allow 2 rounds of questions, and then the Premier will then be requested to please give a summary in Isizulu for colleagues. Yes. Please just indicate your name and your media house, and then ask your question.
SABC. Premier, how are you funding this pay office? I was understanding that before the provincial government didn't have funds to pay and the figure after this, will you still have a shortfall on how much a shortfall will be?
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so just have the one question.
Okay.
It was clear. It was a very clear media briefing, I believe.
Mr. Makosini, we have received the money from the National Fiscus. We are still making calculations on whether we have enough resources, but what we can say is that from the categories that we have mentioned, we have divided the categories into, well, we have 5 phases that we are going to be operating on. But over and above that, we have divided the categories of Amakosi in the form that I've explained, that we have a group of those leaders that have passed on since the time when they were supposed to get these payments. And we have a group that are now no longer is in Duna, but they would have started at the time when we were supposed to have paid. And then we have a group that is presently, they are part of the system, and they were part of the system from the beginning before they were paid their normal pay every month, and they were due for they are due for that back payment. So we are finalizing the numbers of which ones are still around, which ones are not around, but we are positive that we will be able to cover the whole ground.
Just a follow-up. Okay.
Follow-up in how much do you receive from the national treasury?
I don't know whether I can mention the amount before we table our budget officially, because the monies are only guaranteed once we table it officially as the law. I don't know what is the leader here saying. Okay, she's saying I'm correct. So we will only be able to say the figures once we table officially the budget as a law, because the budget forms part of our legislation, and once we table it, then it's at the time when we can appropriate. Because these monies will start flowing from April, May.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. I think that's clear. We'll know the exact amount when the budget is tabled, and then we'll communicate accordingly so that you're aware of how much is appropriated specifically for Izinduna, of course, in the province. Thank you. Can I then request for the clerk just to give a summary Zulu of the statement?
Siphinde sibingelele futhi silapha namhlanje ukuzonikeza umbiko ngomhlangano obekhona wekomiti eliphezulu lesifundazwe saKwaZulu-Natal. Ekomitini sikhulume kabanzi ngodlame olukhona, kodwa ngokubulawa kwabantu emphakathini, ubuholi, ukubulawa kwesizwe salapha KwaZulu-Natal. Siyesabheka ke ekutheni kuney'ndawo lapho kufanele siqale khona ukugxilisa ukusebenza kokuphepha namaphoyisa, kwenzela ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukuthi bazizwe bephephile, baphinde babone ukuthi baphephile ey'ndaweni ezihlukahlukene. Sibhekile ke lapho ukuthi kuney'ndawo lapho sesibone khona ubuhlungu obukhulu obhekiswe emphakathini nobugebengu kanye nokubulawa kwabantu, kakhulukazi ey'ndaweni zako-Marian Hill, ey'ndaweni zako-Claremont, ey'ndaweni zako-Mashu, komkhanyakude, ezinye zey'ndawo lezi esibone kamuva nje ubugebengu budlanga kakhulu, kanye nakwezinye indawo kwisifundazwe esibonayo ubugebengu obusabisayo. Njengohulumeni ke siyesakwamukela ukuthi kofanele ukuthi sisebenzisane nazo zonke inhlaka zomphakathi, kuhlanganisa nosomabhizinisi, ukuze sikwazi ukuyinqoba lempi, ngoba ngaphandle kokusebenzisana komphakathi namaphoyisa asisoze sayinqoba lempi esibhekene nayo. Siyesabheka futhi udaba lobugebengu obenzeka laphaya emngceleni, kakhulukazi endaweni isifunda umkhanyakude, lapho esibone khona kubulawa futhi abaholi, lapho esibona khona utshontshwa kakhulu kwey'moto, izidakamizwa, utshontshwa kwempahla, nabo bonke obunye ubugebengu esibona laphaya kuleza indawo. Ngesonto ke lona leli esiyakulona ngomhla ka-5 sizobe sihlangene laphaya emkhanyakude, sihlangene nongqongqoshe kazwelonke, nongqongqoshe wesifundazwe, kanye ney'nhlaka zomphakathi ney'nhlaka zamaphoyisa zonke, ekutheni sakhe ke uhlelo esizosebenza ngalo oluqhubekayo namanje. Kukhona ke amanye amaphoyisa athe ajutshwa kwisifundazwe sethu ukuthi azosiza ekulwisaneni nobugebengu. Siphinde sabhalela ke nomongameli simcela ukuthi siyacela ukuthi ikomiti likazwelonke lihlanganisa bonke ongqongqoshe ababhekelene nokuphepha sikwazi ukuthi sihlangane nalo ngokusheshsha ukuze inkinga kakhulukazi le yobugebengu obusemingceleni sikwazi ukuthi sihlangane sisonke ukuthi sibhekane nayo ngoba uma ngabe sizonqoba loba bugebengu obulapha emingceleni budinga iminyango kahulumeni ehlukahlukene ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibonisane. Umnyango ke wezokusebenza namaphoyisa nezokuphepha sineyinhlelo ke esinazo zokuxhumana nomphakathi kanye nokusebenzisana nomphakathi ekuthweni lokho esikubalulile ekufanele sikwenze esikubalulile lapha kulowami mqulu noma enkulumeni esibeke lapha emgungundlovu sikwazi ukuthi zonke lezo nhlelo ziqale ngokusheshsha sisebenzisana nomphakathi. I-cabinet ke iphinde yadingida ngohlelo esizoba nalo ekupheleni kwayo lenyanga lapho esizobe silapha kwisifunda ugu esizobe sihambe ngomkhankaso ubizwa ngokuthi usukuma sakhe. Umkhankaso ke lo ohamba inyanga nenyanga sihambela izifunda ezihlukahlukene ngenhloso yokuthi sibhekelele noma silandelele ukusebenza kahulumeni nezinhlaka zikahulumeni siphinde silandelele ukuthi umsebenzi owenziwa iminyango kahulumeni hlukehlukene ngabe yenzeka ngendlela okuyiyona yona na noma ngabe abantu bakithi bajabulile yini ngabakubona kwenzakala kuhlanganisa ukulethwa kwezidingo ngqangi emphakathini amanzi imigaqo ubugebengu ukungabi khona kwamathuba omsebenzi kanye nokulwisana nendlala ezinhlakeni zonke zomphakathi wethu. Sizoqhubeka ke ukuthi sisebenzisane neminyango yonke kuhlanganisa nomasipala njengoba sizobe silapha ogwini sihlangene nemphakathi yakhona ngoba uma ngabe siseyindaweni siphinde sinikeze umphakathi ithuba lokuthi nawo uphawule ngokuthi yini bona abayibonayo enhle noma engeyinhle eyenziwa uhulumeni. Siseyinhlelweni ke zokuthi siqedele amalungiselelo okuthulwa kwenkulumo yombiko wezezimali wesifundazwe lokhu kuthiwa i-budget ezawuthulwa ngumphathiswa umama uNkonyeni umhlonishwa uNkonyeni ngomhla ka-10 kuMarch. Inkulumo ke ye-budget izawube igxile kakhulu kulokhu esikuthule lapha kwishayamthetho njengenkulumo yesifundazwe. I-budget ke izawube igxile yona ekutheni lezo zinto esizibalulile zizokwenzeka kanjani zizokwenzeka nini nanokuthi ngabe imali zokwenza lokho zikhona na. Siqeda ke umhlangano njengamanje besihlangene nobuholi bomdabu kakhulukazi izinduna ngenhloso yokubonisana noma yokudingida sibanikeze nombiko wokuthi sesihambe safinyelela esigabeni sokuthi lokho esasikuthembisile njengohulumeni ukukhokhela imhlomulo yezinduna sesizokwazi manje ukuthi sikwenze kulandela ukuthi umnyango noma uhulumeni kazwelonke ukwazile ukuthi njengoba kwakushawe umthetho uhulumeni kazwelonke kumele ukuthi imithetho eshawayo ikwazi ukuthi ibe nazo izimali zokuthi leyo mthetho isebenze. Sihlangene ke nobuholi lapha saphinde sadingida kabanzi ngobugebengu obukhona eindaweni zamakhosi nezinduna neqhaza ekufanele libanjwe umphakathi wonke ekuthweni silisane nobugebengu kokubulawa kwamakhosi nezinduna emphakathini. Sikhulumile ke nanenhlaka esizosebenzisana nazo khona ezigodini ezihlukahlukene ezizweni ezihlukahlukene ukuthi kumele ukuthi sibambisane kanjani kakhulukazi naleyo mphakathi esikwazile ukuthi izihlanganise njengemphakathi ukuthi ikwazi ukwakha amakomiti okuyiwona azobhekana ngqo nokulwisana nobugebengu kanye futhi nokusebenza namaphoyisa. Sizibophezele ke nakhona kulomhlangano ukuthi sizawuqhubeka ukuthi sixhase imphakathi ngosizo lokuthi sicijise amakhono alabo abasebenza namakomiti noma abasebenza emakomitini alwisanayo nobugebengu kanye nodlame, ebese siphinde sisiza ngeinsiza ezizokwazi ukusiza lamalungu omphakathi asuke esebenzisana nomphakathi namaphoyisa ukutheni bakwazi ukusebenza ngendlela okuyiyona yona. Siyokhumbula ukuthi isilo samabandla uMisizulu kaZwelithini naye ulishayile ikhwela lokuthi kufanele sisebenze ngokuzimisela njengalohulumeni ukuthi silwisane nobugebengu kanye nodlame olukhona emphakathini wakithi. Namanje ke masihlangene nezinduna namakhosi sikubalulile ukuthi kukhona umsebenzi omunye ozokwenza kakhona maduze nje lapho esizobe sihlangene khona nazo induna namakhosi kanye nobuholi obunye sidingida kabazi amasu esiwabekayo njengohulumeni okuyiwona azosiza imiphakathi ekulwisaneni nobugebengu nodlame olubhekiswe emphakathini nakubantwana. Siphinde emhlanganweni wethu esibe nawo nomkhuzi wamaphoyisa umkhwanazi lapho sixoxe khona kabanzi ukuthi sibheke ekutheni ikuphi lapho njengohulumeni wesifundazwe esingabamba khona iqhaza ekutheni silule isandla siphinde siqinise isandla samaphoyisa ekutheni akwazi ukubhekana ngqo kanye futhi nokulwisana nezigebengu nobugebengu obukhona eindaweni ezihlukahlukene. Kuyinkolelo yethu ke ukuthi asikwazi ukuthi singaba imiphakathi yaKwaZulu-Natal sazi umhlaba wonke njengesifundazwe esiphethe igilamkhuba nesiphethe ababulali nesizifundazwe esingakwazi ukuthi sinakekele imiphakathi yaso. Ingakho ke sithathe isinqumo sokuthi sonke sibambisane sizinhlaka ezihlukahlukene ekutheni sibhekane ngqo nobugebengu, sibhekane ngqo nazo izigebengu, siphinde futhi sizikhiphe emphakathini, siphinde siyenze isiqiniseko sokuthi ukusebenza namaphoyisa kuyaphumelela ekutheni ziphume izigebengu eindaweni zomphakathi. Siphinde sikwazi ukuthi nathi njengesifundazwe siphile esifundazweni esithuthukayo, esifundazweni esinokuthula kanye nokuphepha, imiphakathi yethu ikwazi ukuthi ihlale yazi ukuthi iphephile ngaso sonke isikhathi. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, colleagues, and the Premier. Premier, there's a request from the ENCA for a question. We'll do it just right here. Siyabonga, colleague.
Ngizokutshela amakhosini ukuthi malini khululeka ungawarisheki. Hayi ngizokutshela. Hayi manje hawu. Ngizokutshela kodwa